Oh shit. Mike said, we're recording now. Now you have to do it. You don't get to prep or anything. We're going to talk about stuff, including Twitter and a bunch of money that they have to pay today. It's a Not So Critical Update.
John's just about got the format down.
He has from his locked cell room in Sweden.
Next week I'll be back. Next week I'll be back in space.
Yeah. So this is a story about Twitter that got fined $150 million for mishandling of personal data, which works, and it affected 140 million users, which works out as $1.07 per user, roughly. And basically, what happens when you enable 2FA or two-factor authentication, you have to enter your phone number, and Twitter said, yeah, we're just going to use that number for purely for authentication purposes. And they didn't. They used it as part of ads, and they used it as part of the person's profile. So yeah, Twitter had to pay a fine of $150 million. But I think $1.07 per user is an acceptable amount to pay. I think it probably costs more than that to onboard each user. There's like a what you call it, a cost
to buy a list that includes phone numbers. That could be about right.
Yeah, so that's fair. If I was Twitter, I'd be like, yeah. Sure, cool. Yeah,
maybe a little cheap.
Yeah, cheap. $1.07.
But they'll make that back when they sell it. I mean, they'll be able to sell those for $4 or $5 a pop, I'm sure.
Yeah, they did get their wrists slapped, but it was a very gentle slap, I think.
Yeah, the $150 million fine, and then they were given a list of things that they could do and not do. Do you want me to read the list?
Go ahead. Go for it.
They are prohibited from making profit on data collected under the guise of security. They must allow users to use mobile authentication apps and security keys for multi-factor authentication, which don't require the user to provide their phone number. They must notify users if their data has been misused. They must implement a comprehensive information security policy. They must limit employee access to personal user data, and they must notify the FTC of any company breaches.
There are some Twitter executives going, oh, yes, we got away with it. Yeah, brilliant. Amazing. That's so good. Let's do this again. Guys, when are you free? Next Wednesday?
Like, everything on that list was like, they should have been doing that already. Was that not already a list that they've been given?
Absolutely have been doing
I
that.
personally think they're inching towards the right direction. It's just, it feels so slow. And then it's not like, I don't know. It's like this should be law already. Like it feels like they're catching them like misusing data like this, and they're like, no, shame on you. But really, it should have been way more severe.
You're a marketing droid, Mike. What's the term for acquisition cost or something like this? Isn't there a
cost to acquire?
Cost to acquire. There we go. What's the cost to acquire for an average user? Do you know anything about this for social networks?
It depends on the company. I mean, I can't imagine what Twitter's cost to acquire at this point is. They've got such high market saturation. Low. It's probably. I mean, I almost would think it's pretty high by this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's fewer users, supply and demand. There are fewer users left to be acquired. I mean, it could be low because they have very high efficiency at this point. I don't know.
That's what I mean, like word of mouth.
Okay,
so many people talking about
we're a huge fan of live Googling here. I'm going to go.
What? Twitter has what? 200 million users.
The reason they have been unprofitable for so long.
Really? Okay, Twitter will recommend bidding prices based on the average amount that competitors are bidding. Currently, the average range is from $2.50 per follower up to $4 per follower. That's follower.
No. This is new user acquisition, but like, what's their demographic? 15 to 13 to 40. 50?
We could say that the cost per user is $44 billion divided by however many users they have.
Yeah.
So
what? No, wait, what?
That's what Musk is. Elon Musk is
calculator,
right?
He's going to research how many users they have.
Siri, what is $44 billion? But I'd love it. Siri, turn the lights off.
You know, I was actually. Can I train Google to respond to different terms? I wanted
lights off.
I wanted.
No.
I was thinking today I'd rename Google to NSA so that I could just talk directly to the NSA. No, can't do that.
Google. Because there was some reason for it that I was looking up because I also wanted to rename mine. But you can use an open source Home Assistant. I forget the name of it. You can rename it, and as long as you use like a you have to type in the phonetic, I think is what it's called, pronunciation. So like if it's like Mike, then you have to like tell it kind of what it will sound like.
I-K-E.
Well, no, it's like
M-Y-K.
So yeah, so it would be my M-A-Y and then
K-A-Y.
So K-E-H maybe.
Okay.
And it would understand that. And then the more you say it, the more trained it gets. It's really interesting. But no, Google does not allow it.
Yeah, if I can't be talking to Google, then I don't care, I guess.
I mean, it's actually
my information.
Isn't it? It's Mike Indigo Kansas Echo. Isn't it?
You are butchering that.
Kilo. That's it.
Mike India Kilo Echo, yes.
That's right. You're a Marine. Oh my God. I keep forgetting that you're actually like a proper military person because you're just so sweet normally.
I know. I got it.
Person.
What are we talking about?